Okay, so what I've been doing today, right? I'm going to walk you through one of the lessons in KI. It's, of course, this is not the entire lesson, just a portion of the lesson. Okay, let's start. This is how we see the world, right? We believe we have direct access to the world, right? And the world is very much what is presented to our senses. But is it really? A uniform gray ring on a light and dark background. When split, the half rings appear to be different shades of gray. When shifted, the half rings appear to be quite different. So which tile is darker, A or B? Let's isolate those tiles. In fact, what we see is they are of the same shade. But let's go back to the same figure, right? Yet our brain, our senses actually detect a difference between tile A and B. Let's look at another figure. Do you see a spiral? What if I tell you that in fact it is not a spiral but a series of concentric circles? Let's isolate them. So you see a series of concentric circles. Let's go back to the original shape. While I've just told you that it is a series of concentric circles, but to you, it still looks like a spiral. Of course, these are optical illusions, and many of you are familiar with it. And usually we find them amusing, but we don't see them as particularly threatening to our knowledge of this world. After all, it's not every day that you walk into an optical illusion. But let's take this a bit further. So the point I'm making is seeing really believing? Whose world are we seeing? What is the insect's world like? What about a lizard? How does it see the world? And then, of course, there are us, and we see the world in a particular way. So, is there one world or are there many worlds? Whose world is accurate, presents an accurate picture of the world as it is? Let's take this a bit further. Imagine a bucket of boiling water. You put your hand in it. I would suggest, right, this keep it strictly as a thought experiment. What would you experience? Well, answer seems obvious, right? A lots of pain. But where is the pain? When you put your hand in a bucket of boiling water, the the energy from the water molecules is transferred to your hand. At this point, there is no pain. The energy is then converted in impulses, which is sent to your brain. At this point, there is no pain. The brain starts decoding these impulses. Still, no pain. It finishes, and there's lots of pain. Or perhaps the brain reads it wrongly, and there's no pain, but the trauma to your skin is still real. Let's look at another object. Let's let's think of a juicy green apple. Where is the green? Where is the color? Light enters our eye, still no color. It's converted into signals, no color. It's sent to our brain, no color. It is the brain starts decoding, then there is color. So where is the color? Is the color in the object or is it in our brain? So it would seem that in fact we do not have direct access to the world. Our access to the world is always mediated by our senses. We cannot peek around our senses and see the world as it is. But what if I tell you that in fact there is no world out there? It's all in our mind. Can you be sure? What if this is just a dream? Singapore has been having fantastic weather for the past few days, right? 21 degrees temperature. Maybe you are still in bed. This is You had planned to watch this presentation, but you are still in bed, and this is just a dream. Perhaps a nightmare for some of you, but possibly a dream for some. So, can you really know the difference between a dream state and a waking state? Let's push this a bit further. What if I tell you there's in fact there's no even you, right? You are just a brain in a vat. You are just being fed signals. The signals tell you that you have a body, that in fact you're sitting in your chair watching this presentation. But what are you in fact is just a brain in a vat. Can you really know? So it seems that we cannot go beyond what we perceive, right? Can we really know the world as it is? So this is a small snapshot of what we do in knowledge inquiry. It is the business of other subjects to reassure you that everything is fine. The purpose of KI is to unsettle you. So if you like to ask questions and further questions and further questions, and you know that there is no answers, real answers out there, right? Then is knowledge inquiry is the subject for you, right? So for in this subject, you have to live with, right, the sense that there is no certainty in whatever we know. So what is the assessment of KI like? Basically, it's a H2 subject. There are 3 papers. The first paper is that you write 2 essays, right, in 3 hours. It's a fairly long time, right? So you choose 2 out of 6 essay questions. The questions are, as you see on this slide, uh, basically have to do with knowledge construction. Paper 2 essentially is a critical thinking component. You are given a compulsory long passage for you to critically evaluate. Then you choose 2 out of 3 short texts to evaluate, right? Finally, right, this is the most interesting part of KI. You write an independent study. Basically, it's a 3,000 word paper on any subject, any topic which is related to KI. You do that in JC2 from a period from January until September with some supervision and guidance from the teachers. This constitutes 40% of your mark. So if you like continual assessment and you don't particularly like sit-down exams, this is a good subject for you. So how can you do well in KI? What are the requirements for KI? Obviously, there are some standard requirements you need to meet, right, which the college has put up. But what is more important is you need to have these qualities. You need to be inquisitive. You need to be curious about the world around you. You need to be thorough, meticulous. You need to be open-minded. We will look at some areas which you may find unsettling, but you must be able to listen to arguments and also examine the beliefs you have. And at the same time, you need moral courage. You need to stand up for what you believe in, right? Without belittling others. So these are qualities that we expect for KI students. And through the course of these 2 years, right, we hope to cultivate these virtues. If you cultivate these virtues, these are what I call intellectual virtues, then you will do well in KI. In fact, you will do well in any subject and in life as well. So these are the things that we are looking forward to. Okay, that's it for my presentation. It's a very short presentation.